All right, I'm gonna get right into this. I wanted to kind of talk a little bit more. Why I had a very general video talking about kind of explaining gangs and things like that because I got I got like 4 comments on one video where I was throwing the pitchfork, which is a disciple sign for 3 different organizations within Folk Nation. Anyways, that's not important. The point is, that was a general thing because I was getting these comments like, "What are you doing? What is this?" So I was like, "Okay, let me just post a video and kind of explain." And I think I posted 2 full videos. Anyway, this one is not to do with that. It's kind of just talking about the scene here. Typically, I mean, you would know that typically queer gangs are supposed to wear pink. Their color is supposed to be pink. In Chicago, at least, the queer gangs, they wear pink. They wear pink bandanas and they wear pink clothing sometimes. That's how you identify them. I feel like they should do that here too. The queer gangs in the Toronto area should identify themselves with pink bandanas. I know the Bloods and the Crips have their own colors and they've had that for a long time. I'm not particular. I'm not gonna talk about myself. But anyways, that's the deal. Now I saw that I saw them throw that SD up and I put it in there. I was really happy to see that, knowing that I just verified membership or posted a video on it, and to know that somebody would throw it up, especially in white, because the SD typically, the Satan and the Satan disciple, the Satan that they throw up is usually yellow or red, and they will wear yellow and black, kind of different from black and gold. Black and gold is Latin King. The Satan disciples were like yellow and black. So they didn't actually throw the sign up in yellow and black, but they chose to do it in white, and I feel like that's a color that kind of represents people generally. I feel like the black can represent some people, the white can. The blues and the bloods are typically, the blues and the reds are typically for the Bloods and the Crips. I understand, but I have seen white graffiti being thrown up for a few years now. I've seen it happen. I guess white just, it's kind of like a basic thing. You know what I mean? Like, it may not be an Aryan kind of thing, but it might just be kind of a basic representation, like how some people were white. They call them, so they had white witches and black witches, and then in the modern day they have white hat hackers and black hat hackers. So white is kind of supposed to be the good one, the black is supposed to be the bad one. So anyway, they threw it up in white, which is kind of general, and they do throw that up. But it was good to see that, like, you don't know how good it is, because one day soon it will be thrown up in yellow and black. But for now, I'm not saying for sure. One day it may be thrown up in yellow and black, I should say. But for now, it got thrown up in white, which is a beginning, you know. And I connect that with me because it's right by, like it was like right there, in that spot, and because I just started talking about the same disciples, so that got thrown up there. And I think that was a great start. I have totally changed my mentality. You know, rather than, oh, somebody should be a prima donna or what, you know, stupid stuff like that. I really think that it's good to start from the beginning for some things, and then invest time in that and try to grow it and better it and grow and advance yourself in the process. But yeah, you know, I feel like we don't really have enough of a representation when it comes to gangs and stuff. But that's because, you know, really Toronto, and I'll be honest, it's a bit of a lacking city, a bit of a meek city, Toronto, in the Toronto area. People are quite reserved. People try not to bother other people. At the same time, people don't really even talk to each other. And this is I've been told so we have a lot of, Australia and Canada has a bit of an immigration deal going on between them where they give visas for people to just go to each other's countries. So when you get Australians coming in, what they typically say is that because Australia is a warm climate all year round, that they feel like the people over there are warmer, and in Canada, because the climate gets so cold, people are a bit colder. But really, even when the weather is warm, people are very reserved, and it is appropriate to keep to yourself. It is almost encouraged to keep to yourself. And there's not really an open criminal enterprise the way there is in the States. I mean, in Chicago, everybody's repping MLDs. You see a group of guys standing wearing the same colored shirt with bandanas. Even if they don't have bandanas, they got the same color shirts, and they're standing posted up on that same block they're supposed to be posted up on. And they throw up their graffiti and they're proud of their art. And when guys go to prison, they further the art. They come back out, and then now they're hanging out with the guys and sharing things with them. So that's typically how it is. It's almost like a brotherhood or a fraternity. That's the way I look at it. I think the disciples are almost like a brotherhood and a fraternity. You know what? I'll tell you one positive thing is that the gangster disciples, when they go to jail or prison, they no longer. They still call themselves GDs, but the GD stands for growth and development. For gangster disciples, they kind of, it's kind of reforming them. So for all the gangster disciples who had a criminal past, well, obviously they had a criminal past. Maybe they were making money criminally and doing a lot of criminal acts, and they decide that they want to go legit. So they made a group called Growth and Development, which is all about studying, learning, business. Exercise, being healthy, and developing and growing, like to the literal point. You know, I will tell you one thing. Black people are typically associated with the bottom level. I'm not trying to sound good or bad, but typically, and I don't mean always literally black people, but the black color and the black is supposed to be like the starting point. You know what I mean? It's like you know how they say hip hop is black, or they use the word urban. Well, that's typically like the starting level, right? It's like supposed to be like level 0, like the beginning point. So, you know, but that's part of it. But the thing is, they're all associated. GD is associated with ST, ST is associated with MLD, and the reason is because the Latin Kings were outnumbering all of them in Chicago like crazy. So they decided to make Folk Nation, which is other gangs in there too. But that they would have some kind of association going on, since the Latin Kings were so goddamn big and so goddamn huge in numbers. Anyways, that's done. But the point is that I carry like an American gang mentality. Or I wouldn't say, I would say like a fraternity or an organization. I carry an American mentality. And the reason I carry the American mentality is because the American mentality is dog eat dog, survival of the fittest, thrive, shoot for the stars, even if you fall, risk it all, put in the high risk, you know. Now, if I had a place to choose in Europe, I'll be honest, I would rather choose Europe. For me, you know, any of the Latin countries will do, but you know, including Romania, or you know, any of the Latin associated countries, and there's a lot of them that will do. But I'm in North America right now. Specifically, I'm in Southern Ontario, Toronto, which is just a drive away from Niagara Falls, like 2 hours drive away from Niagara Falls. And Niagara Falls has an American and a Canadian side. So it's really close to the American border. I've traveled by plane to America, I think maybe 7 or 8 times. But that's a lot of times. But the thing is, I don't need, that's enough for me. You know, that's enough for me to get enough that I need. But I carry that mentality. I'm carrying a dog mentality. How am I going to go and become a Blood or a Crip? You know what I mean? Over here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be the big dog, the top dog, in every sense of the way. You know, and my time right now is all about growth and development. That's all it's about. So that when I get out there, I have a means of earning legit, and I have a way of handling my problems legitimately, versus in a way that can lead to trouble. And that's all it's about. And that's what it is, you know. There's nothing really more to that. I think the worst is when people make a mistake, misidentify you, miss whatever they want maliciously, and then when they get served, I think it's very fair. But anyways, going on, I am carrying that American mentality because America carries one of the largest, like one of the like most dog mentalities in the world. I mean, America is supposed to be the shit, the home of the ganglands, people, the American dream. Now, there's not really as much of a safety net, so there's a lot of people that there are people that get destroyed. They hit the bottom, they got nowhere to go, and they get destroyed. Canada saves those people like a fishing net, and rather than eat the fish, they keep the fish in the river. That's how Canada works. So Canada's not really a place where you're really gonna rise up too fast. Well, you can, but it's not really like I can't carry that American mentality around here. When I walk around here, I feel like I'm a fucking like a big dog. I feel like I'm an American pit bull in fucking Toronto. That's how I feel when I walk around. I feel like I'm probably coming from like a way stronger gang background in any way than any of these guys walking around. I'll be honest, I do think some Canadians are really soft. Not all of them, but some of them are. Now, granted, the Hells Angels is big in Montreal and in Canada and in Vancouver, and they are supposed to be one of the most powerful gangs in the world, and they are a biker gang, and they exist in Canada. And I'll be honest, a lot of people are intimidated by the Hells Angels. They're big guys, and they are intimidating, and everybody knows not to fuck with them. But I mean, what can I do? Because I don't want to be a snake or a rat. So I can't run around on my own saying I'm this and that and not associating with anything. It doesn't really make any sense for me to do that. I need to be associated with something. And the best thing that I would want to do to represent the disciples in Toronto, and that's the way I see it, to represent them here. Even if it's just temporarily, and then one day it's not gonna be the case. There's gonna be no Toronto, you know what I mean? And that's all it's about. But for the time being, it's just like representing the disciples here. It's the same thing, and I will do that. To be honest, I will represent that here, and that's really it. I mean, there's nothing else. I don't go into certain worlds that I shouldn't fuck with. You know what I mean? And there are worlds that I don't want to. It's not. It's just. It's I believe in systems. Okay, I'm a big believer in systems. Behave systematically, do things the right way. There's things that I feel obligated to do that. Okay, and any kind of system should be respected. So if you have to respect a city or an area and other people are doing something, that's fine. I'm not looking to do any criminal activity anyways. But I do want to be affiliated with a gang I do want to be associated with a gang. Or an organization or fraternity. I call it fraternity. I mean, come on, man. George Bush, the president of America, was part of Skull and Bones, which was a university fraternity, literally about people who buried skulls and bones on like near their university campus. That there's rumors that they had all kinds of cult stuff going on. They were burying bodies and stuff like they were into murder, man. And that's the president of the United States, George W. Bush. That's a big deal. You know what I mean? So I mean, that is, dude, listen, you don't get anywhere in the States by being soft. You look at some of these guys, you know how tough they are. Even accountants and stuff like that. Guys who are taking over the accounting game or the law game, they're so tough, man. Like, dude, some of these guys could really like literally knock guys out, man. Like they're tough guys. In America, you don't get to the top without genuinely being a top dog. You will not get. Top dogs understand each other in America, and they respect each other. You have a white top dog, a black top dog, a Hispanic top dog, and a foreign top dog. And when they look at each other, they respect each other, they give each other their space, and they go about their business. And that's the way that it should be. I think that was a good video, and I'm done posting it. And I just say good evening.